Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is Wave 3 meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to this latest edition of Storm Talk. Doing a video blog for this one because there's several things I need to draw and point out that I can't really do on a written form. I know a lot of you like both types. I try to do both types when I can, but in this scenario, a video blog seems to fit a little bit better. All right, here's the setup for this afternoon. We got a period of thunderstorms we're expecting as we head into tonight. Another chance as we head into Wednesday night, and maybe a few more on Friday. And then we'll see a break, really, for a while because the heat is by far going to be the big story in just a matter of days. Let's talk about the storms first. Here's the current setup for the severe risk. This just updated from the Storm Prediction Center. It still mainly includes Indiana as the main zone here for the concern for the slight risk. And it's mainly because by the time they get to Kentucky, they'll be running out of, first of all, support to maintain themselves to the severe limit, and they'll be running into an area where there'll be less heating of the day because nighttime would have really worked over some of this region. So the highest threat certainly is going to be west and north of Louisville. We've been saying that for the past couple of days, and I still see that being the risk here for this one. But we'll watch you guys in Indiana because you could still be in the zone here for some strong storms. And even in Louisville, they should be weakening, but we can't roll out a warning as far south as northern Kentucky. Here's a setup on the visible satellite. A couple of things to point out. This is an actual photograph from space. You see the cumulus now building up around the region here. You're probably noticing that out your window, in fact. Cannot run an isolated shower or even a downpour with a lightning bolt that could develop because of this cumulus field. But really, overall, there's just not a lot of support yet for anything too organized to develop. That is back here to the west where the actual energy in the atmosphere, the little ripple moving through the upper atmosphere is what's going to really kick the wind up and really enhance the wind fields for this area. I think this zone is certainly more at risk for severe weather than what we are going to see here in our area. Especially if I had to pinpoint it even more, right in through here appears to me anyway to have the highest potential for warnings to be issued for this afternoon, and then it drops off the more east and southeast you do go. And there's a chance even because of that idea that it's more unstable that our southwest counties could be actually more at risk for severe weather than areas north of that, depending on how much of this activity pushes to the south and east. But that's the setup we're looking at right now. Not an outbreak, but some warnings could come out. I wouldn't even run a tornado warning or two in this area of Illinois. Once they get into our region, that threat really isn't that as high, certainly. But in this area, though, there could be a few tornado warnings that could come out. I do see the potential for some shear that looks decent enough to produce such in that area. For us, though, this will pass through. What's interesting, though, is that whatever does not make it through the Louisville area could very well, on the northern part of this low, could very well redevelop, say, around 3 o'clock in the morning. So we'll get the first batch could go off to their south. We'll get some here in Louisville. And then the northern part of that may redevelop towards sunrise and then push off to the east. There could be actually two waves that could develop between now and, say, sunrise, but we'll see how that plays out. Here it is on Futurecast. And this is going to go a little fast here, but you'll see the storms move in from the west after 7 o'clock. As we into the 9 o'clock time frame, you see how they move in and get very cellular. These could actually be severe storms at this point. I wouldn't rule that out between 8 and 9 o'clock in our western counties northwest of Louisville. But as they move to the east, they'll begin to fade and as they cross I-65. But again, we'll watch that carefully. And then as we into the overnight, we'll see if there's any redevelopment after 3 o'clock in the morning. The model's not too excited about that, but I wouldn't rule it out given the complete setup. All right, looking down the road here, this is not the only system we're going to be tracking because we've talked about this high humidity control of our weather and the flow of storms. Low pressures moving through has been constant out of the northwest, feeding these showers and storms. We got two more waves really we're going to be tracking, one tonight and then one as we head into Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. This one could be producing some heavy rain and maybe some strong storms too. Wouldn't rule that out, but mainly a heavy rain threat for early Tuesday or Thursday morning and that northwest flow. And then one more as we head into Friday, it looks like that'll drop down. And this one's going to be a little bit more to the north because notice the flow. The arrows have moved a little more to the northeast by the time we head into Friday. That means the high is scooting over more to the east as well. And that is pushing the storm track a little bit more towards Cincinnati than it is here in Louisville. And then as we head into the weekend, I think that storm track is going to be mainly aimed for areas of Indianapolis through Ohio down into West Virginia. I do think a good chunk of Kentucky, especially West Kentucky into Tennessee, is going to be in that heat zone the way things are beginning to look. And looking long term, the heat just kind of holds on here in the southeast part of the country all the way through the last few days of August. could see a tropical system at that point that may shake things up, or even a stronger cold front. Signs of that showing up around the last day of the month, if not the first couple days of September, that'll cool us down dramatically at that time. But between now and then, hot is going to be the roll, and the heat index could easily exceed 105 in that kind of a pattern. So summer is not done by any stretch. We'll watch the storms for this afternoon. Again, only a small chance for a brief downpour this afternoon. Best chance, though, for organized storms in a broken line will be later on this evening after 7, 8 o'clock, moving in from the west. We'll see if we'll get another chance as we get into 3 in the morning, but otherwise, that'll be about it. So we'll keep an eye on things and stay tuned for more updates on social media throughout the afternoon, and, of course, today beginning at 5 o'clock.